Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So I've spent maybe 6 hours trying to fix the issue from yesterday already. So I'm still not there, it's still busted, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna try to tweak it because I have something that kind of works, and we'll see if we can get it working. The issue is, right, on the Love.js web deployment on mobile devices, the game only runs at 30 FPS, which makes our distance that our player walks greater than the thickness of our bounding box for collision detection on collidable map objects. So it is really jacked up. It's really jacked up, and it's really only a thing that affects the mobile deployment because on computer it runs faster than 60 FPS. On the web deployment on a computer it runs faster than 60 FPS. So the only issue is on mobile. But when I talk about the game, I like pulling out my phone and showing people what I'm working on. So if we can get this working on mobile, I would be very happy. I know I'm already okay, I promise this is the last day I'm working on this because we have a crunch to get done, and this isn't even part of the demo really. It's just, it would be nice that once we're done with the demo it would work on mobile, but things like saving don't work on the mobile deployment, so we can't even do that. So we'd have to make our own custom mobile version of the game anyway, so this isn't what I should be focusing on. It's just that it's really bugging me, and I'm at the point where it might be passable, it might be workable, so we're just gonna give it one more night of a shot, because ideally it'd be nice once we're done with the demo we can just launch it on the website to go with telling people about it so that they can play it right there on their phones. That's the goal. I would hope that we can at least play and not save on the website deployment. So we're gonna try to see if we can get a little bit more work done on this. The big thing is, here I can see what the basically we took this this logic right here used to be in the walk state. So since we're not calculating our player's movement based on a velocity, which now I feel like we really should have done, I basically did it based on a constant walk speed, and we either subtract the walk speed, add the walk speed, depending on which direction we're going. So now in the scene we're basically what we're doing now is we're snagging the original position before we do this collision check. Then we have these variables for the new positions, right? Now depending on what the value of the output list is, that gets populated by our baton input manager. Then we're assigning these new X and Y positions. Then we set a collision detected false. We cycle through all our collidable map objects, that's all of our walls. Then what we're doing is we're basically creating a player and creating the collision object so that we can reference it. Then we're running this check AABB collision. Now this is part of what's broken now, because this is like a true AABB as opposed to our shifted top collision bounding box. Then if that returns true, then we're going to resolve that collision and break. Now here's the part that's different, that is kind of fixing the issue here. So basically if we collide with something, we get the updated positions, and if we don't collide with something, actually if we do collide with something, if we, gosh dang it, so yeah, if the AABB comes back true, we've detected a collision. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to update our player to be the new X and Y. Now, I think I might have got these backwards, because we're saying that the new X and Y, you know, this is the updated based on the movement. So basically we're like calculating the movement before we actually move our player. We're saying here's where our player would end up, but before we move him, is he colliding with a wall? Because if he is, that's a collision detected, and that means that we should go back to our original position. But if there's not a collision detected, then go ahead and move him to where we were gonna move him. So that's what this is doing. So the two things here is that our AABB collision should probably be defined with the shrunken hitbox for our, for our faux 2D look here. So we'll try to do that, and resolve collision might get away with it. Now, let's just see if we can do that. If we can do that, we might merge this. This is on a new branch. We might merge this because this has been, like, no joke, 10 or 11 hours of work off stream of me trying to figure this out, because it was just such a pain in the butt to even figure out what the real issue was. So I'm hoping we can fix it. So this should be an entity method, right? So it should be this AABB. Okay, yeah, we're checking, super easy. And it's like, it's based on a true AABB. So we want to shift it by our side buffer, which is 1 pixel, and our top buffer, which is like 6 pixels, I think. We have to kind of look at what we were doing over here. Yeah, see, this has all the info. Left collide has a buffer of 1 pixel. Yeah, because we basically, this is, so left is a buffer of 1 pixel. God dang, man, it's hard because there's, and you know what? Because we're not doing the old method of doing, is this a left collision? Is this a right collision? Is this a top collision? What we're doing instead, for this test at least, is saying, are we colliding, period? If we're going to collide on the next frame, then let's not even move there. So it doesn't clamp and update our position to be like flush with the edge of the collision box, which might look weird, but I'm just trying this out to see if it makes sense, because this is something I didn't think about when we first designed the game. Because, this is my first time doing anything like this advanced collision detection. I mean, I call it advanced, but it's still just AABB. But, games are freaking hard, man. They're freaking tough. I can tell you, because I've been pulling my hair out over the same lines of code for like 11 hours straight. Okay, so here we're checking if the left side of the box is smaller than so this, all of these conditions have to be true in order for a collision to be returned here, and it's the left side of us would have to be smaller than the right side of the object. So we're going to say and it depends on which order we pass them in. I think we pass us in as the A, as the first one, right? Yeah, we pass in the player first. So we're checking the players. A is the player, so it's going to be the left side of the player smaller than the right side of the object. So we want to basically offset this by 1, because we have an empty transparent pixel on the left side of Tashio. So we want to check if the left side of our bounding box, which is shifted by 1, and then the top of us, let's say it's 4. I think it might be 6 actually. Because we're checking it any time we're checking against the target, it's always like the exact tiles, but when we're comparing it against our player, you know, we don't want to check the bottom of our player. We want, actually, yeah, bottom of our player is the one that's like true bottom, but we're checking the top of our player is actually going to be 6 pixels from the top of our player for the AABB. So let's see what that looks like, and then we can try it here. And maybe I should. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's change the scale factor so we can actually see what the hell we're doing. Actually, I'm gonna actually just deploy it to the web so we can test it, because if I change it, then I've got to change it for the web deployment, and we really just want this to work on the web deployment. So we run our build script here, and then we upload to our website. Oh shit, I did not click the right thing. It's the first time I fat fingered that. Okay, we should be okay there. Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I should not have even attempted this because we're trying to finish the demo on time, but I don't know. I thought it would be fairly easy, but there, you know, I get punished. Wow, you know what? This is actually, well, let's see. So like, see how we're running only at 33 FPS, which normally is so, normally at 30 FPS when we update our player's walk speed, that distance over a 30th of, you know, delta time of only a 30th of a second updates us out of space. But this is actually looking like it's working just about perfect. We need to shift our bottom hitbox up by 1 or down by 1, but this is looking right. So what we don't have is, we don't have, you know, this is all our new baton input handler, which is slowing down our WebAssembly JavaScript that Love.js is uploading to the website here. So without the new baton library, this was running at like 45 frames a second on mobile if you weren't in low power mode. Oh wow, I'm even in low power mode and it's actually working. Normally that always broke. Yeah, so see, look at this. It like depends. See, this is what I don't like about it, is that if by the next frame you would be off, or if by the next frame you'd be colliding, it doesn't move you, instead of moving you flush to the collision. So yeah, it looks like we need to shift our right collider smaller. This is amazing though. I've been trying like 6 hours today just to get something that was this good, because we would always clip. We would always, what would happen is that we would be walking up like this, and instead of our 4 pixel tall bounding box for the top of us getting triggered, it would actually trigger the left collision, because we have to ask in an order, right? We have to ask either if left collides first or if top collides first. So whatever one we chose would get ignored, because, you know, depending on the order layer. Hey Loki, what's up? And so this has been a huge issue. But you know, it's really cool to see the web deployment having, Oopsie. It's really cool to see the web deployment actually not breaking in low power mode, which it normally would. And we have the mini map on the website deployment, which is really cool. And it's working with the baton touch input handling. So this is pretty sweet. And we should have the loot working as well. Yeah, I hear the sounds. I think the loot is actually still rendering based off the old global touch table, so we have to rehaul the loot system to be populated based on the baton input, and then we need to get baton inputs rendering on, like as we press the button here, we want to see the presses, as well as which buttons are being pressed. Like I have like a dot where our finger goes, at least so stream can see that I'm touching a screen somewhere, which right now you can't see it other than the none I'm pressing for the input type. But yeah, I don't think I'll prioritize this. It is good knowing that this is actually almost okay now. Let's just tweak a couple more small things, and then I'll probably call it a night, honestly, because I've been programming like 6 hours today already, and I've been fried. Yeah, I think we want this to be -1. And we want the right side of us to be a -1. Not a +1. Yeah, so the, well, not quite Sasquatch, because the thing that's so janky about how I programmed it is that we've got these side collisions for stuff like spitballs, right? So if actually no, we're doing something different for that. It might be working. It might be working, other than I don't like how this plays as good as our other one, because this one's doing something. It's just, gosh, I'm gonna have, here, I can do this. Like, look at this. See how our nose isn't touching the wall there? But if we catch it just right, it might actually, like that, it does put us there. So it's not really snapping our player's location as good as it used to. So I don't like it as much as the other solution, but it does work on a frame rate independent system. So that's nice. But look at this. We don't have collision for our other objects. We should have a collidable object here that we're running our old logic on, because now we took out all of our side dependent collision logic and instead opted for this true AABB, and then we're just kind of like projecting out our next position, and if we're colliding, we just don't move us there instead of always moving us there and then seeing what type of collision it was and then undoing that collision. Dude, it's checking for input a lot. Like, my code is not, it's not like, it basically, it's cycling through. Actually, it's actually not that much, because the thing is, we're kind of cycling through the input once in order to get what I call the output list. So we kind of just gather all the inputs and then condense it into an output list. But we have alternate tables we need to check collisions for. So it's not that we're gathering too many input calls. It's just that we aren't, we don't have one table full of all collidable map objects, which is what I originally wanted. It's just that I don't know why I haven't done that. Like this treasure chest is an object in the collidable map objects, so I'm actually not sure why that isn't colliding, as well as it's because we also have collidable map objects here where the bed is, so that should also not show collision. I'm actually not sure why that's happening. We can, I know in our map declarations, I think we inserted little objects. Yeah, see, all of this stuff is for the bed collision. So it is in our collidable map objects table, and if we take a look at our scene, we're cycling through all of our collidable map objects and we're checking for collision on those. So I don't get why it's not picking up that object's in there. Yeah, because the collidable map objects has, an X, a Y, a width, and a height. And we put it in this table, so when we go to cycle through this, the pieces of the bed should be in here, and we should be able, we should be checking our AABB collision on there. But then here, we have the wall objects are separate. Because it's doing specific collision based on a wall object. Because we need it to be very particular about walking in like that. Okay, so that's still working. And it doesn't break there. See, that was weird. I got stuck. Look at that. I got stuck not moving. If I have two inputs on a collidable wall object, it is just freezing us. So that's weird. I guess we could do the same thing here where, well, yeah, we would need to define, actually, yeah, we might want to do the same thing here for the wall objects. Except that, no, yeah, we need to define like a true AABB and a shrunk AABB, because if it's colliding with a map or a wall object, we need to be able to walk a little higher. Oopsie. Okay, I won't worry about that. I am curious why it's kind of locking us in, which I really don't like. We might have to change our resolve collision to move us flush of a collision. So I don't exactly know. So it looks like right here we're snagging the smaller of two values, we're taking the what we call the overlap X. So the right side of our player and the right side of our player, left side of our object, and the right side of our object and the left side of our player. And then we're getting the smaller distance there. So we're determining like if we're on the left, or how much on the left or the right or above or below we are. And we ask, you know, if we're more left, then if our player's higher than the object, then we're going to set our player's X. Yeah, if we're above the object, we're going to set our height to be the object's X position minus the player width. So this is that snapping I was talking about. But if we're below it, we're going to snap to the bottom. So I think this is okay for X. We actually want to snap to object X minus the player width. I think we want to add a 1 here because of the 1 pixel empty spot on our player. And it matches the 1 that we're doing right here for the collision detection. And then move our player's X to be equal to the right side of the object. So I think we want to move, the left side of us to be the very right side of the object minus a 1, so that we negate that empty pixel. And then if we collide, if we overlap on the Y, if our player is the top of us is smaller than the target, so if we're above the target, we're snapping our Y to be the top height. Yes, except a +1 for the... I mean, I'm a little torn. I don't think this -1 should actually be here. But let's see. And then if we're below the object, we're going to snap our Y to be the very bottom of our object. Yeah, that looks right. Because I'm pretty sure our Y pixels go all the way from the bottom to the top. So I don't think we need the bottom one here. Plus height -1. I think we just need that. Oh, and you know what? Yeah, if we're beneath the player, or if we're beneath the target, so that would be here, we're going to snap our Y to be equal to this minus the 6 overlay. Okay, let's see this. Oh, that was totally my bad. Okay, we do look a lot more flush on the snaps here. Oh, other than here. Shit, I keep doing that. Okay, I don't know why our collidable object table isn't picking up our bed anymore. We'll have to look into that. It looks like we're not snapping correctly on the right side still. Down looks good. Right needs another pixel. Up looks good and smooth. And left is looking okay. Yeah, left is looking flush, other than I don't like this little shift we do every once in a while. Yeah, see this like 1 pixel shift? I think that's the Y rounding us. You know, I have to choose when we're going to round us to the nearest pixel. And I think I'm just doing it kind of willy-nilly right now. But yeah, we need 1 more pixel on the right side here. It looks right. It looks right, right? Because this is, we detect collision for a player right side -1. So only if that, yeah, only if our nose is actually colliding with the target do we come back from this AABB. And then if our player is if we are on the left of the object, which it would be this scenario, we're going to set our X to be equal to the left side of the object subtracted by the player width +1. Yeah. That seems right. I'm going to put a +2 and just see what happens. Yeah, that's still not... There we go. Now our nose is touching. See, so this is what I don't really like about this method. It's better than glitching out, right? It's better than glitching out, so that's for sure. Other than here. 2 inputs on a wall collision is still jacked up. But walls are rare. Wall objects are only side doors that you can walk under like this, because they have a different upwards collision than other objects. But for whatever reason, we get hung up on it like that, which is really strange. Yeah, I don't know. It does... See, for reasons like that, like we snap to the flush position instead of just... Yeah, it's almost like instead of doing the snap, I don't know why the snap position's happening here actually, because we check collision. Yeah, I don't know why the snap's happening once I let go. If we take these out, if we take out these snapping values and just say, when we resolve the collision, we're just going to be flush next to it. It should only run once there is a collision. Yeah, it's still snapping weird. So this isn't even changing our issue here. Man, I do not want to be working on this with 3 weeks till demo's ready, you know? Like, the movement isn't even right. We're not even having collisions work. Yeah, I might just have to commit this branch and come back to it once we launch the demo, because in order for me to be happy with this, I'm going to have to fiddle, and we just don't have the time. It's working great if the game's running more than 30 FPS, which most cases are. It's just for the web deployment on mobile devices, it doesn't work. So I think I'll just have to not prioritize that and just get the demo done. And then we can worry about optimizing for mobile after, because there's just too many things I can't fix. I'm just not happy with like the shifting. Yeah, it just looks messy. I don't know when it's doing that though. When is it shifting us there? Because right here, you know, if AABB collision comes back, then we're collision detected. and we resolve our collision right then and there. So if we're colliding, we resolve the collision, which moves us so that we're not colliding anymore. But then we're going to say, then we also, it breaks too. It breaks. So if any one object, maybe this is one issue too. We are looping through our collidable map objects. But when we break, it breaks out of this loop. So then we stop colliding with any secondary map objects. So this could be only doing the first collidable object in the table, which, wouldn't include our bed and everything. But I don't see it changing anything here. Okay. So if we are collision detected, see, I feel like I've got these screwed up. If we do detect a collision, that means we want our old position. We don't want to update the new position, right? So wouldn't that mean we switch these two? If we don't have a collision, no, that was right. Yeah, because this would be, if there is a collision, we don't want to update our movement. We want to go to the original position. If there's no collision detected, we want to just update our position with the walking, with where we're going to end up anyway. Try using GoTo. Or Goto. Is that a framework? Is that a JavaScript framework? Goto? It's a mess. It's a mess, honestly. Like, as I was trying to work on this earlier today, I just realized how much of a mess it is. Like, game dev is super hard. It's super hard. Yeah, I'm not sure we need this break because I feel like it's prematurely stopping collision detection on any other collidable map object. But also, I'm not convinced that we're actually cycling through all these collidable map objects. I'm curious if we try to go into the second collidable map objects, if we have our bed collisions, which it doesn't look like we do. It's literally the second sprite. Okay, well, our game is 10 by 8, so it would be 81 maybe. This is nuts. Okay. Well, I say what I'm going to do is go to tag syntax. I'll check it out. I didn't know go-tos were in Lua. I think the move is we commit this to the mobile testing branch, and then tomorrow we just get back to the real demo development, because this is just a nice, if we have it, working on mobile web deployment. You know, it works fine on the mobile build. The actual build, it works fine. It's just the mobile web version, it has been busting. So at least we got it mostly fixed. You know, I'm not exactly happy with the snapping, but if it means that the web deployment just has like not the prettiest snapping, but you can't do game breaking clipping, you know, that's a trade I'm willing to make. Hopefully we could get it smooth, but worst case scenario, we have this option, which just snaps us a little weird, but it prevents the game from being totally broken, even running at sub 30 FPS on mobile. So I guess that's good. So I'll commit this. I'm in a detached head state, so I'm gonna have to do some nasty commit force pushes to get it to my branch, but I'm gonna call it a night because it's been 6 or 7 hours programming today already. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll find someone to raid out to and call it a night. I'll be back tomorrow and we'll do real demo development instead of this side quest that I have unfortunately been stuck on. We'll raid out to Jed because he's a cool dude. And thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow. Catch you later.